This action from the Extreme Festival is proudly brought to you by Investchem Chemical Logistics, Autobahn, and Bridgestone Tires. It's back to Zwartkops, the arena of motorsport, for the Sassel Race Day. Big crowds have come out here to be entertained, and they're certainly going to be having exactly what they've paid for. On track, big action expected in the Investchem Formula 1600s, and we start the show with all the single-seaters. Julian van der Walt is going for 11 out of 11 in this first race. Is there a possibility that Stuart White and Liam Pienaar have found something special in between this heat and the previous one to get something over Julian van der Walt? We'll have to wait and see. Great to see a couple of new contenders in there as well, with Thiago Rebello coming through from karting and coming to join this big field of single-seaters. The lights go out and we go racing down towards turn 1. In the background, Brendan Tracy getting a great start, but it looks like it's going to be side-by-side action into turn 1. Eventually, the whole shot going to Julian van der Walt. Van der Walt hanging on to that lead right now as they go down to turn 2. Cam O'Connor under attack from Liam Pienaar. The Phoenix jeweler man going around the outside of that motor machine. And Cameron O'Connor already going side by side with his fellow karter. And they still side by side through turn 3. Pienaar has snuck through into third place. Cam O'Connor under attack, as you can see, goes defensive, trying to keep out Dean Fenter as he had a big look heading into turn 4. Fenter got a great start. Cameron O'Connor, I think, was just caught napping there ever so slightly, but watch for him to come back. As you see Gillespie starting to make a move there on Fenter as they get up into Sassel Corner for the first time. Hard on the brakes. The Lieutenant Colonel going side by side there. Alan Mayer side by side, as I said, with Schofield. And Schofield eventually having to back out of that one. He tucks in behind LT. The rest of the field comes streaming through there. Rebello fighting with Pizza. The two young karters having a great run. This is their first season, of course, first race there for Rebello. Great to see him moving through the field so rapidly. Carl Pizza having a little bit of a look there. So is a super move there from Wesley Vosloo as we go on board with him. He had to slot just behind Andrew Schofield as they went through. And look at him, all fighting the wheel through turn 1. Little bit of cold tires still available on these cars. Remember, it'll take about 2 or 3 laps for these Cooper Avons to get up to race temperature. No worries at all there as we go on board here with Liam Pienaar. This is the Phoenix Jewelers man looking on the inside to try and squeeze out, and he just squeezes out Cam O'Connor. This is third place on track and looking up the road. Stuart White on the attack, trying to close in on the front end there and find a way past Julian van der Walt. Van der Walt has not been bettered this season, and he's certainly looking like he could get 11 out of 11 here. So get up on the brakes. Stewie very late on the brakes. Cam O'Connor even later. Great move from the youngster. Squeezes through. He runs a little bit wide and might open the door there for Pienaar, but Pienaar is going to just push his way through. Oh, he has a look in the rearview mirrors. This is super stuff. Very much the same way they go fighting in karting. Liam Pienaar fighting hard here with Cam O'Connor. O'Connor dives back up the inside into G&H Transport Corner. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. The Phoenix Jewelers man leading this battle for third, and you can see he's being pressurized now. I think Pienaar might be in a bit of trouble here because Cam O'Connor is also seeing the fact that we've got Dean Fenter and Gillespie right on his tail. Then it's Alan Mayer. The rest of the field streaming down here towards turn 2. Nice to see the 5.5 car there of Carl Pitzer. The Milwaukee Racing colours on that car now. So seeing that he's picked up some tool sponsorship as they go flying down into turn 3. He's fighting hard at the moment with Brendan Tracy and Ian Schofield. But as the rest of the field comes streaming through, they're not going to catch this man. The race driver, SA and Investchem Formula 1600 is the man to beat. Oh, and White runs wide. Stewie trying everything and a bit more. As he came out of turn 4, he just pushed the car a little bit too hard. And the fantastic racing machine, unfortunately, went onto the dirt. That might have cost him a little bit of time, and I think that might just be enough for Julian van der Walt to hang on. They come out of Kenwood now. Double right-hander, flick it through Mix FM and down the hill towards G&H Transport Corner. Dean Fenter doesn't seem to have an answer to the two youngsters in front of him, although this is his best run so far this season. He really has an absolutely dismal start to the season, and it looks like in the midway, it's starting to come right. Here comes Vosloo. Vosloo hanging on. Schofield on his tail, and Schofield actually got through and found a way past there on Alan Mayer. Alan Mayer under attack now from Andy Schofield. So the two Scofs are the bread and the sandwich. Behind them, you can see Brendan Tracy starting to make his way up to the front end too. Good to see Tracy starting to bring along this youngster, Brad Benningfield. Benningfield having a bit of a tough one, and oh yes, gets it completely out of shape down into turn 2. And looks like he might just get just through. Problems there, unfortunately, for Brad Benningfield. But that's not what he wanted in the Nashua car. Dean Fenter trying, but not finding any answer to Cam O'Connor's pace. This is the view from Fenter's car. There's O'Connor up the road as they get on the brakes for Sassel. Oh, locking up with the brakes. Oh no! O'Connor's made a mistake. He's run wide and gone straight. And unfortunately, looks like that is the end of his race. He's going to have to come back onto the track if he can get back on and have to fight from the back. And there's not enough laps for him to get up to the front where he was. A little bit of a rookie mistake there from the youngster, but we know he'll be back in the Strata and Repro Supplies We Fix car. Heading down onto the braking markers now. This is the battle. A little bit further back there for about 6th place on track. And it's Schofield who leads things out at the moment. He's got through on Wesley Vosloo. Vosloo has lost 1 position. And Lieutenant Alan Meyer is now trying to keep off the attack that comes from Andrew Schofield. At the front end, though, with about 3 corners to go, it's going to be Julian van der Walt. Incredibly, he's going to go for 11 wins out of 11 starts. He had a little bit of pressure from Stewie White at the start. You can see also battling a little bit there with understeer as he came through Mix FM. But fortunately, the checkered flag is waiting, and he's going to take it again and be the first man across the line. Van der Walt wins out for Investchem, and Race Driver SA with Stuart White in the fantastic racing machine right behind him there in second. Liam Pienaar, his best finish of the season in the Phoenix Jewelers car in third. Ahead of Venter, Gillespie, Schofield, Vosloo and Alan Meyer.
Cameron, race 1 wasn't good for you. You found the kitty litter, unfortunately.
Yes, you know, while I was chasing Liam for 3rd place, I was under in braking zone, and then my accelerator cable got stuck. So I braked hard, locked up, and yeah, went into the gravel.
Liam, great race.
Yes, I had a good start, and the leader broke very early, so then I just went around the outside. Had a tough race with Cameron, and yeah, eventually had a problem, and it was just smooth sailing from there.
Thumbs up from Cam O'Connor. He's got some work to do now. He knows he's got the pace to take a win. It's just to get it all right and get past a man who's taken 11 out of 11. And look at him, all smiles in between the races for Julian van der Walt. Thumbs up coming out of Brennan Tracy. Scof looking forward to some action as well. You can see absolute concentration before these guys go and hit the circuit. Dean Venter looking for some more improvements. It's already come and got a lot better, but this is the man they all want to beat. Julian van der Walt. Can he make it? The perfect dozen. That'll be incredible to see. He's not starting from pole. It's going to be Stuart White from pole, so that might just be a little bit of a chink in the armor there as they head around the outside and down into turn 1. No worries at all. Julian van der Walt getting a fantastic start and still hole-shotting from that inside line. And Cam O'Connor going side by side with Stuart White as they head down into turn 2. They're still side by side. In fact, almost the entire field went through their 2x2 coming out of turn 2. Stewie eventually gets up ahead and into 2nd place. Cam O'Connor with Liam Pienaar behind him. And look at that, Gillespie this time around the outside of Dean Venter. He's already got through on Venter. That's what he needed to do early on because he wasn't able to find a way through in the first race. Much improved and great to see Brad Benningfield back in the hunt. He's down in 7th place, but nice to see the Nashua car back on track after some brake problems in race number 1. As he comes up to Sassel Corner, that's where he went off. Schofield is right on his tail. He's got Alan Meyer. Those two fighting for Class B honours. Remember the Masters category here. And the Class B boys fighting just as hard as Class A. Move on the inside there from Cam O'Connor. Move around the outside from Stuart White. Can he make this one stick? He runs onto the outside. This is incredible stuff. Stewie White around the outside in the fantastic racing machine and into turn 1. That takes some big cojones, but he's got it sorted. For the first time today, Julian van der Walt has been demoted down to 2nd. Now, will that be the biggest chink in his armor and spoil the day for him in terms of taking the perfect dirty dozen to start this season? As they come out of turn 2, it's Venter on Gillespie looking for a way through as well. He's also going defensive to keep out the hard charge coming from Brad Benningfield all over the back. And look at that, Wesley Vosloo goes on the attack, trying to find a way through there on the LT, and Alan Meyer might have to go defensive into turn 4. Wait and see if that actually changed up. Yes, it did. He just squeezed through there, so a little bit of a chopping and changing in the mid-pack. Gillespie holds on for now. Dean Venter goes on the high side, tries to cut back and come back at him. We're on board with Alex Gillespie now. This is the car down in 5th place. The first 4 starting to get away. Liam Pienaar still looking for an opportunity of an overall, and it'll be his best overall finish for this entire season. He's going to have to keep out Gillespie, though, if he wants to remain in the top 3 overall. Right now, he's in 4th place for race 2. Cam O'Connor, he has taken over that 3rd place. There he is in full flight through turn 1. And he's also looking for a chance to get a little bit higher up on the podium. You can see the cameramen in the background all waiting to get the action as they come down into turn 2. Very difficult corner to get right here, particularly in single-seaters. It's all the way down to 1st gear. And then it's power out as much as you can and get these cars in full flight. And with these wings and slicks now, you can see these cars are just getting better and better. They're getting very close to that 1-minute bracket here at Zwartkops. And I think by the end of the season, we'll be definitely seeing some times that'll be into that 1-minute dead, or possibly even break the minute barrier here in these Formula 1600s. Hard on the brakes up at the top of the hill, and Stuart White is starting to open up a big margin. That might be enough to keep Julian van der Walt at bay. If he doesn't make any mistakes, I don't think van der Walt is going to be able to get past him. Van der Walt looking in the rearview mirror. He's got two very talented youngsters on his tail with Cam O'Connor and Liam Pienaar. And the rest of the field coming through there. Alan Meyer fighting with Brendan Tracy. Behind them it's Pitzer and of course Thiago Rebello. Mentioned him in the first race. He's doing a super job here in the second one. And hanging on for dear life right now in his first outing in the Formula 1600s. Across the line and another lap completed. Cam O'Connor, Liam Pienaar. That's 3 and 4. Then it's Gillespie. Look at that. Dean Venter has not found a way past. He managed to keep Gillespie out the entire race, number 1. And locking up down into turn 2 again is Benningfield. Oh no! It looks like those brake issues have come back for Benningfield. And he's now off and around the outside on the grass. The dirty stuff will bring him right to the back of the field. He's going to have to work from there, and I think he's probably going to just circulate to get as many points as he can. 59 car, they're having a super run. That's Thiago Rebello. That's the youngster we're talking about, fighting with Pitzer. The two Carters having a great run there for 12th and 13th place on track. Stuart White, though, is using his international experience. And look, since he got to the front, he just opened up a massive margin. And there was no answer whatsoever from Julian Van der Walt. With 2 laps to go, it looks like he might have enough in the bag to keep Van der Walt's perfect dozen from happening here today. It's going to be 11 out of 11, but the 12th victory looks like it might be heading to Stuart White and the Fantastic Racing Squad. Remember, he is going back overseas, so he's going to miss the next round in Cape Town, unfortunately. So that's not too much of a concern there for the Cape Town-based Julian Van der Walt, but he will be a bit worried about the fact that he didn't get the perfect season. Coming out of turn 2, Dean Venter has now got through on Gillespie. He's found a way past. And moving through the field rapidly. I don't know if Venter's got enough time to catch Liam Pienaar just up the road. Schofield hangs on for now and also leads out Class B ahead of Alan Meyer. So Ian Schofield looking for the double on the day here for the Class B category as he heads up the back straight. Look at that, close to 180 k's an hour as they went into turn 4 there. Just seeing the dashboard there of Ian Schofield. It's one more corner for Stuart White. The perfect dozen for Julian Van der Walt has been bettered. And the first man to beat Van der Walt is Stuart White from Fantastic Racing. He'll be stoked about that. We have a new winner in the Investchem Formula 1600s, and it's Stuart White. Van der Walt gets second, Cameron O'Connor gets third, Pienaar takes fourth with Venter, Gillespie, Schofield and Vosloo, your top 8. In this championship, heading to Cape Town where Van der Walt could wrap it all up. It's Van der Walt with a massive margin over Stuart White, who will not be there. Alex Gillespie in third place with Cam O'Connor in fourth and Benningfield.
Diego, first time on a national platform, main circuit racing. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We had our ups and downs. We're still getting the hang of the car. It was only our second time out in this car with the wings. So we're getting used to it, learning the corner a lot quicker than we can, carry a bit more corner speed. The last race we struggled. Now the car, we've been struggling the whole weekend with a lot of understeer. The car was just pushing the whole time in. So I feel like we still have a lot to show with the car and a lot of performance to come out and a lot of pace that we can show.
Stuart, congratulations, your first win of the season.
Our first win of the season finally after Julian was unstoppable in the beginning of the season. So finally in Zwartkops we got him in the second race with probably one of the best passes I've ever done in my life around the outside. So I'm absolutely stoked, and thank you to Scott, Oxygen, brand new and from Fantastic Racing, my mechanic Peter and Johan, done an absolute amazing job, and of course to my dad and Uncle Brian for the ongoing support, and I mean it could have not been better.
Join us after the break for all of the Bridgestone two-wheel categories here at Zwartkops.